The Lakers just tied up their series with the Minnesota Timberwolves after what can only be described as a pretty impressive defensive performance from the Los Angeles Lakers. It is 12:55 a.m. where I'm at. Please subscribe. Your boy's on the grind. Anyway, Lakers actually played with effort and intensity in this game. It's amazing what happens to your defense when you just do those two things. LeBron James was very engaged from the jump. He's a large part of why they won by double digits. He made that play late. There's like 2 minutes and 45 seconds left. Luka commits a bad turnover. Anthony Edwards, he's out on the break. LeBron comes in from his blind side, makes a big steal, takes it back down to the other end of the floor, scores, and puts the league back up to 11. If the Wolves score there, then all of a sudden they're down by 7 or 6, and things get a little dicey. But he was big, obviously late, but really just wire to wire. He was much more engaged than he was in game one. And when he's engaged, making plays on both ends of the floor, and Luka Doncic is Luka Doncic, then the Lakers are going to win a lot of games, and they should definitely beat the Minnesota Timberwolves. Luka got off to an awesome start, 16 points in the first quarter, slowed down quite a bit after that, only finished with 31 points, didn't shoot it great from three. But the Timberwolves don't have anyone who can guard him, and that is just such a huge advantage. And they take advantage of it all the time. They get him switched onto whoever he wants, and he just kind of goes to work. And that is just such a nice thing to have, when there's 7 seconds left on the shot clock, just having a guy who can bail you out all the time. And, this isn't anything new. We knew this in the Western Conference Finals last year, and we saw it in game one when he dropped 37. The difference, though, in this game and why they won is pretty clearly LeBron James and Austin Reaves. Let's start with LeBron, very active on the defensive end all night. He didn't coast through the game like we saw him do in game one. Game one, he didn't score at all in the first quarter. He only scored 4 points in the first quarter tonight, but he had the ball a lot more. Like it touched his hands way more often in that, really throughout the entire game, than it did in that first game. And look, LeBron James has been amazing for the last 20 years, and he doesn't have to score to impact the game. Everyone knows that. He had 7 assists on the night, and when he gets the ball, like he's got a certain gravitational pull that gets everyone else open. And I didn't think the Lakers they didn't take advantage of that enough in game one. They definitely did tonight. So he had 7 assists and scored, I believe, 21 or 22 points on the evening. And then Austin Reaves was much better. Austin Reaves had a really rough game one, just didn't shoot it very well, didn't finish at the rim. The Timberwolves gave him all sorts of issues. Much better tonight. He still didn't shoot it well. 0-6 from 3. Had a couple really bad misses, especially early, but he put his head down and he got to the rim more, and it ended up shooting 7 of 14 from the floor and finished the night with 16 points, which is a good night from him. Like when Luka goes for 37 points and 9 assists, I believe is what he ended up having. And, LeBron goes for 20 plus and 7 assists. And, Austin Reaves didn't have to score 25. If he scores 16 and he can just get him a couple of timely buckets, I thought the isolation late on Rudy Gobert where he, went by him to the left and then finished with his right hand, to kind of push the lead back up to 13 while the Wolves were in the middle of that run. That was a big bucket there. And, that's what they need from him. They need an occasional, 2-minute stretch where he hits a couple shots or he gets a big bucket late, because he's too good of an isolation player to not have stretches throughout a game where he scores the basketball. I thought that the Lakers role players were pretty good tonight as well. Rui, he didn't shoot the ball very well, but he cut to the basket. He cuts to the basket really well, especially from that corner. He got a few easy layups off that. Dorian Finney-Smith had a good Dorian Finney-Smith game, play good defense, hit a couple shots. Gabe Vincent came in off the bench. He hit a couple of threes as well. And, a large part of why the Lakers won is their role players were simply better than Minnesota's. They weren't in game one, and that is not a knock on the Laker role players, because, Jay McDaniels was just unconscious, and so was Naz Reid, and they both came back down to earth in a pretty big way. McDaniels only scored 8 points, didn't hit a 3. Naz Reid only had 9 points. Part of that is he dealt with some foul trouble here and there, but the Laker role players I thought were much, much better tonight. And look, when your stars are better than the other team's stars and your role players are better than the other team's role players, then that leads to you leading by double digits for 35 of the 48-minute game. It's probably more than 35 minutes, honestly. when it comes to the Timberwolves, sometimes you have off nights. It's just that's kind of what it felt like. Like I said, Naz Reid missed some shots, McDaniels missed some shots. Dave Vincenzo was minus 17. He missed some shots that he usually makes. So like the role players just didn't play well. That's going to happen sometimes when you're on the road. I thought Julius Randle was good. I think he was great. I know if you look at his stat line, you're going to see he had 27 points and he was pretty efficient and all that. He has possessions sometimes that just really bother me, where someone else will be open, but he just gets like tunnel vision on the rim. And like that's fine on nights like tonight when he really has it going. But in the future, when he doesn't have it going, like he's going to have to be able to give the ball up. And even though he had 27 points tonight, he should have given the ball up more because Anthony Edwards absolutely had it working. Absolutely. And the more I watch the series, the more I come to this conclusion that the Lakers don't really have anyone who can guard him. It's not quite to the level of Luka against the Timberwolves defenders, but Dorian Finney-Smith does an okay job. Jared Vanderbilt's probably their best option to guard Anthony Edwards, but he doesn't provide too much offensively. He only played 8 minutes tonight. So, and I thought that the Timberwolves had too many possessions where Anthony Edwards didn't touch the ball. He's clearly their best player, and he's clearly one of the 10 best players in the world, and that can't happen when you have a dude this good who had it working. He got to the rim whenever he wanted, and when he did get to the rim, he just jumped over everybody. Ask Jackson Hayes, and like that just can't happen. Like he has to have more touches, more consistently. As for the rest of the series, I don't know if this game changed much of my opinion. I think these two teams are very evenly matched. And Lakers in 7, I think feels right. And I think we saw why tonight. Like Julius Randle and Anthony Edwards, they're not going to match a good Luka Doncic and good LeBron James game. They just aren't. So, yeah, I still like the Lakers in 7, but we're going to go back to Minnesota. Winning there is not easy. It's not. The Timberwolves role players, I think that they'll play much better going forward. They really struggled tonight. And I think the rest of these games are actually going to be great. Because game 1 was weird because the Lakers came out flat. Game 2 tonight was a little weird just because of the struggles from Naz Reid and Jaden McDaniels and Dave Vincenzo and the Naz Reid foul trouble. Like just, I think some abnormal things happened there. So I think going forward, we're going to have really good, really competitive games the rest of the way. So can't wait for them. I still like the Lakers in 7, but Timberwolves, they're playing really good basketball. So thank you for taking the time out of your night or day to watch my video. I greatly appreciate it. More videos coming out tomorrow after all the games. Tomorrow night, Rockets, Warriors. That's the nightcap tomorrow night. Can't wait for that game. You're going to want to see that video. Promise. And I've got videos up for every other game that's happened so far during the NBA playoffs. So make sure you subscribe and you go check all that good stuff out. Thank you again for watching, and I'll talk to you again tomorrow.